It's really exciting to be back, and I'm kind of eager to tell you about what I've been doing. I'm the founder of Web Heroines. I'm Keri Lambden, and we're a not-for-profit, and our mission is to inspire and engage women with the design and tech industries. And it's really to showcase the talent in the industry. The industry is, as we all know, amazing, interesting, diverse, innovative, and what I want to do is provide a platform for debate. And one of the key things that I want to do is make ideas happen. For me, the tech industry is all about making your ideas happen. And so that's what I wanted to do with this. Also to get women in design and technology together to sort of, get things moving and just really talk about the good stuff. So why did I set it up? Well, one of the reasons why I set it up was I went to a network event in Norwich 2 years ago, and I got chatting to a friend of mine now called Rachel, who she'd just been made redundant, and she'd been looking after her father who has Alzheimer's. And we sort of asked the inevitable questions of each other. What do you do? And I said, well, I run a web design business. I love design. I love communicating with graphics. I make mobile apps, and I just absolutely love the web design industry. And she kind of stopped me on my mad enthusiastic spiel and said, how do I do what you do? It sounds so amazing, and I've got so many ideas about building apps for my father, how I can help him, and I've got these ideas, these plans. And she kind of something twigged, something clicked, and she said, actually, this is what I want to do. The thing that you've described is the thing that I actually really want to do. And I thought, well, there must be other women out there that want to kind of do this and to know about design and technology and to understand what it's about. So I set up Web Heroines mainly because of her, but also because I realised that there must be women in the industry as well that just want to get together to have a chat sometimes and kind of go over what they've been doing. So I wanted to throw a few stats out there as well, just to kind of get us in the mood. Women make up only 12% of the UK design tech workforce, just 12%. 72% of girls achieve grades A to C in design tech GCSEs, 72%. That's opposed to the 55% that boys achieve. 65% of female design tech graduates are not working in design and tech. So although they graduate in design and tech degrees, they don't actually go into the workforce. And 5% of women on boards on the top FTSE 100 companies. So, with my mission in mind, being a graphic designer, the first thing I wanted to do was to start doing something with graphics, start building something. So I set up a website and I looked at trying not to do pink things, because what's really important, and certainly what I found, is that women don't want to be pink. We don't want to, certainly not all of us, but some of us maybe want to do the pink thing. And I thought, I'm actually really inspired by women of World War II, and especially the Spitfire women who flew aeroplanes around the country during World War II to support the war effort. My Aunt Aggie was actually one of those Spitfire women, well, she's my great aunt, and so I was really inspired by her. So I set up a website and just started to get things going really, and thought, well, this is the first thing I'm going to do. I'm a web designer, and this is brilliant. This is my way to sort of, start showing people what it's about, and the fact that it's about encouraging women to do these things, and also did some podcast interviews as well, really to talk about what women are doing in the industry and to get women out there and just to start building that kind of inspirational repository. I also did a digital bake sale just to raise some funds, just to kind of have a bit of fun and just sort of show what it's all about. And it's a bit like a normal bake sale where you buy your goods, your cakes and sweets, but this is digital. So I contacted women all around the world to see if they wanted to be involved in it, and had loads of responses. And yeah, so they basically sent me graphics of cakes and sweets that they could download and put on the website to sell. And we raised lots and lots of money. We raised £500 for some development. Whilst doing this, I caught the eye of the British Library in London, and they contacted me and said, we really like what you're doing, and we'd like to get involved and work with you. And I said, okay, that sounds amazing. And I thought, this is an opportunity that I just can't turn down. And they said, we're going to offer you a space, and you get to do what you want with it. And many things went through my head. And one of them was, what the hell shall I do? So we basically together developed, and I'm fairly ambitious and thought that I could just go for it and do something. So I set up the Emerge mini conference, and there isn't really actually anything mini about it, so it seems in the end. Basically what I did was created a website, as all my projects generally start out, because I absolutely love building digital technology. So I'll explain a little bit about what it is. Essentially, Web Heroines Emerge mini conference is about bringing women together from all over the world to talk online as well as offline. So there are loads and loads of female speakers, and I got in touch with lots of different female speakers to basically just get involved and see what they wanted to bring to this. And the numbers just absolutely grew and grew, and people got in touch with me from all over the world, including Israel, the US, obviously the UK as well. So there were 11 sessions over 3 days, and 10 of those sessions were online. The sessions were mostly mobile app design, UX, lots of launching a product. Some amazing women got involved from all over the world, including Sarah Parmenter, who is a fantastic web designer, and Rachel Andrew, who also has written many books for web designers. I also produced lots of videocasts and podcasts as well, and created a conference room, if you like, in the back end of the website. Because one of the things that I realised early on was that if it's going to be a mostly online conference, then how am I going to bring people together? So I set up a chat room and really got people to engage online, and made a conference space as well for them to interact in. And what I wanted to do essentially was to showcase how technology can really pull an event like this together. Although people are based across the world, I wanted to show how we can come together online in the space that we love. And also it's very accessible as well. One of the things that I want to do is reach out to women that are that have had a tough start in life. When I first started looking into Web Heroines and thinking about setting it up, I went to lots of local shelters for women in the area and spoke to them and said, you know, what do you know about digital? Would you be interested in you know, hearing people speak or you know, learning about technology? And most of them didn't really know what they wanted to get out of it. But the main thing was that something sparked an interest in them. And I thought, you know, in terms of accessibility, this is a great way to reach women all over the world, because they can literally tune in and watch the webinars online. So that's great. And I thought, this is just brilliant, and I want to make it bigger. I want to bring something more to it. And so I thought, I'm going to have to get funding. And I filled out so many applications, and it's an amazing experience to do that. If you want to get funding, you should really just go for it and fill out the applications and spend your weekends and evenings doing it. And have your boyfriend cook you dinner every night for months and months, because that's what he did, bless him. He's an amazing cook now. I also had help from a good friend of mine, Richard Patey, as well. He really helped me to get the funding. So I managed to raise £9,000 from the lottery for it. I also thought, what the hell? I'm going to contact Microsoft and see what they say. Would they like to get involved? And so I went down and had a chat with them, and they said yes. So managed to raise some more money from Microsoft, who got amazingly, fantastically involved and blogged about it and tweeted about it. And it just brought so many people to the conference because of that, you know, because obviously of their high status. Ubelly, as it stands, is actually their blog, ubelly.com. And they essentially use that blog as a sort of connection between open source web design, all kinds of digital space. If you don't know them, you should check them out. So anyway, moving on. After raising all the funding, it just suddenly went bang, and bang in a good way. because I managed to get in Design Week, in .NET Magazine, Huffington Post decided to write something about it as well, which was just fantastic. Web Designer Mag, and again, just this huge kind of spiral of fantastic publications were really supportive and really wanted to get involved. And it also meant that I could reach out to the audience that I wanted to reach out to, you know. And then again, in Creative Boom, a fantastic resource for creatives. And there we are, little bit in .NET Magazine as well. I also partnered up with Creative Times, and this is really important when running a conference. I'd never run a conference before. I'd never done anything like it before. And for me, certainly, I'm the kind of person who just said, yeah, just dive in and see what happens. And because people were so supportive and they wanted to get involved with the idea, I managed to partner up with Creative Times, who let me take over their website for 2 weeks to promote the event, and they brought so much traffic to the website. I also partnered up with Keep Calm Gallery, who sent us some amazing postcards. And what I wanted to do was really to build a story around Web Heroines and build a story around what we're doing. Because for me, it's not about you know, saying guys are bad, and it's not about blaming men for any of that. In fact, we completely want to steer away from anything to do with that. It's really about just encouraging women into web design and saying, hey, look, this is what it's about. So again, building the story. And Tea Pigs as well, really nice tea. They got involved and helped to fill up our goodie bags, which if you'd like to come and have a look at it, it's fine. But yeah, managed to get lots of people involved to bring some real treats to it. The one thing that I really wanted to focus on was getting the branding right. Because to me, again, going back to the pink thing, a lot of barriers to entry in the design, tech, and IT industry is the fact that it's perceived as being nerdy, or and that can be a real barrier to entry. So I wanted to make sure that when I was designing things for the conference, that they were beautifully crafted, and it's really important to build that sort of vintage kind of sexy feel around it. So I made these invites, they're embossed, and made sure that they were sort of right for the audience. Just another one of those. And leaflets as well. So carrying that brand all the way through the materials and everything, and the devil is really in the detail. And I made sure that you know, it was completely so thought through and considered. And same with the goodie bags as well. Even made Web Heroines pencils, which I thought really cute. I also wanted to make a digital goodie bag, because essentially with the 10 online sessions and then the 1 offline session at the panel debate at the British Library, which I'm sorry I didn't mention before, which I should have, essentially I wanted to make sure that the online delegates had something to take away with them. So again, I contacted lots of different people to support and send through digital goodies that they could download and take away with them. So we had things like stock photographs and patterns and brushes and things like that they could download. And also carrying the brand through Twitter as well, and making sure that you know, the identity was brought through in the language that was used as well. So at the end of the conference, I had a panel debate at the British Library, and they let us use the space. And essentially what I wanted to do with the panel debate was bring everybody that had come to the conference online into a room together to kind of talk and discuss about why there are so few women in web design and tech, in design and tech, but also to have fun and just kind of chat and get together. So lots of people came, which was amazing, and we had a really good time talking through these things. But also one of the main things that I wanted to do was not dwell on the issues, but actually bring out the successes and talk about the projects that women had worked on, and talk about how we make our ideas happen and what we've been doing. And actually something that came into my inbox this week, which I'm really pleased to say, some of the women that met at the event have now actually set up a group to work on an app together, as you know, as an outcome of being at the event. So that's what really, you know, that's what I wanted to do with Web Heroines, is to bring women together to then go off and do other things and innovate and start creating things. The speakers that were at the event were women in design and tech, it was a really broad spectrum, because there were some women that had not really spoken much before, and they were sort of fairly new starting out, and there were some women particularly Sarah McVitie, who recently sold her company to the owners of 118 in a multi-million-pound deal. So she was very interesting. And then also Jess Radcliffe, who is founder of Gaboom, who essentially created a website to swap games online, and she was on the Dragon's Den and got offered a job by Peter Jones and turned it down. So she was a really interesting person to have on the panel as well. So what's next for us? Well, one thing that we really want to do is to keep going and start running either courses or networking events. We've also hooked up with Tech City in London and MentorWell too, who are providing a mentoring scheme for women and men in the design tech workspace. But essentially what we want to do though is do more podcasts and do more events and just keep things moving. That's what we're about, is keeping that momentum going and introducing women into the industry and just having fun. I know that's a bit of a whirlwind pit stop, and if you do want to know anything more about the event, then please come and see me. And yes, thank you very much.